Hey everybody, John from the Crafting Brothers here. Welcome back to the channel. This week I'm going to be making sort of a continuation of a video that we made when we first started our channel. It was a dungeon tile challenge where Greg and myself came up with 5 different themed dungeon tiles, and then our friend Aaron would come over and judge all of the tiles that we made and pick the best ones. So this is a continuation. I didn't get a chance to show the rest of the tiles that I made, so I thought I'd do sort of a part 2 to that video and show you how I made the rest of the tiles. A lot of people sent me comments on this particular tile, which I think is really cool. This was kind of like a sand trap creature, like from Return of the Jedi. And I thought it would be cool to make a tile where if you're playing your game, you know, you're walking on your normal tiles here, and all of a sudden you encounter something like that, a tile that might eat you. So you have to roll your way out of that. The other theme that I wanted to do was a sort of an oasis freshwater pool where the water's just kind of running through that tile there. And then a lava themed tile where if you fell into this one or if you walked into this one, it would just obviously burn you up. So these are the 3 themed tiles that I'm going to be making this week. Let's not waste any more time and let's get right to it. So after cutting the grid on my 3x3 inch dungeon tile, I'm going to use my standard tinfoil and soldering iron technique to get the texture on my dungeon tiles. After that, I'm going to use my Nasdar chemical to melt the pools in the middle of the tiles. And again, if you don't have Nasdar, which you probably don't, you can just use nail polish or acetone. Next, all of the tiles are going to get a coat of Mod Podge and black paint, and then we're going to go over that with pewter gray before we do our dry brushing. So this tile I'm cutting out here is going to become the sand creature tile from the Return of the Jedi movie. So I just need to cut out the center of the tile and prep it. Whenever I make dungeon tiles, I like to take my X-Acto knife blade and just make flaws in the dungeon tile and just pick off little pieces of stone and make some crack lines in here. You don't want these things to look perfect, you want them to look old and cracked. So this is going to be my lava themed tile, and what I'm going to do is just start by painting the rocks down here dark brown, and then I'll go over it with a little bit of black to give it a lava rock look. Okay, so on to my favorite dungeon tile here. This is the one with the giant sand creature with teeth in the middle of the tile here. So what I want to do is make this look like a creature that's coming up from the middle of the tile, something that could eat you. So we're going to need to start painting this with some brown, and then I'm going to go do a few other layers of paint before I start putting the teeth in there. So the technique I'm using to make the teeth for this creature is going to be the insides of this 10 gauge copper wire. I'm just going to remove the insides and cut the pieces to the length I want, and then I'm just going to paint them white. So after all the pieces of wire are dry, I'm just going to take my tweezers and start poking the teeth into the foam. And actually, before I put too many teeth in, I should start painting all the different layers of color. So I'm going to add red in the middle, and then I'm going to do like a dark green around the very bottom here. So now I'm just going to go finish up the rest of my tiles here and give them a coat of pewter gray and a dry brush of granite gray. Okay, the next tile on the list is this dungeon tile with the water feature, so let me take you through the steps on how I made this one. I'm going to start with a dark blue at the bottom of this water feature, and then I'm going to layer it with lighter colors so as to make the pool look shallower as I work my way to the top. Next, I'm ready to tape off the edges of this tile here because I'm going to be pouring a glaze coat 2-part epoxy resin, which will dry clear and create the water effect I'm looking for. I'm going to use some of the catalyst also in my lava tile, but I realized that I melted through the bottom with my Nasdar chemical, so I'm just using a piece of tape on the back. So again, glaze coat is a 2-part epoxy that you can just get at any Home Depot, and I'm just going to mix equal amounts of these together, and it will take about 12 hours to cure after I pour these. Okay, so now to finish up these tiles, I'm going to go ahead and use my black Liquitex wash, which has a little bit of brown in it. After that's dry, I'm going to add some flock to a few of these tiles to finish them off and give them kind of a mossy look. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this dungeon tile build. As always, send me your comments and like this video if you did. Also, I've got some really cool builds coming up on the horizon, so please stay tuned and we'll see you next week with another build or challenge.